Alright, Broncos fans, things got real after that tight loss to the Chiefs. You'd think they'd be hanging their heads after dropping a game like that, right? But nope. Denver's actually making some big moves to shake things up, and it's like they're saying, we're not done yet. The question is, though, is it enough? I mean, they're not just brushing this loss off. They're treating it like a wake-up call. Their big movies are at least telling us. Fullback Michael Burton's been promoted, Bo Nix is stepping up as a real leader, and Sean Payton, he's not letting this one slide. He's pushing them harder, making sure this loss lights a fire in every single player. But, with the playoffs on the line, are these moves going to be enough to turn the season around? Stick around and let's get into how the Broncos are tackling this setback, what changes they're making, and whether they've got what it takes to make a real run for the playoffs. What's up, everybody? If you're just finding us, hit that subscribe button. We're your home for everything AFC West right here on this channel. Before moving further, we have really disturbing news. In a sudden and unexpected turn, Denver Broncos assistant head coach Mike Westoff has officially stepped down from his position due to health concerns. The veteran coach, age 76, made the difficult decision to prioritize his well-being after experiencing vision problems following the Broncos' recent matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs. Westoff's health scare prompted him to undergo immediate medical evaluations, including an MRI, which ultimately led to this significant decision. Sources close to the Broncos confirmed that Westoff consulted with head coach Sean Payton before ultimately choosing to resign. The legendary coach, who has contributed immensely to the game of football, plans to return home to Florida to focus on his recovery and spend time with family. At the brink of playoff elimination, this is a real shock for the Broncos, especially as they're already dealing with the recent loss to the Chiefs. Yes, that 16-14 loss to the Chiefs was rough, no question about it. The Broncos were right there, within inches of pulling off a win against the defending champs. And then, bam, blocked field goal, game over. You could almost feel the air sucked out of the stadium. But here's the thing, instead of letting it break them, Denver's using this as fuel. They went toe-to-toe with one of the NFL's best, and while it didn't go their way, it showed what this team can do when they're all in. And you better believe they're taking this loss personally. That locker room? Reportedly devastated, but in the kind of way that makes players double down, not give up. Sean Payton's not letting anyone dwell on the past. He's already flipping the focus to what's next, making it clear that if they can go toe-to-toe with Kansas City, they can bring that same fight against anyone. If there's one thing Sean Payton doesn't do, it's let a loss define his team. After that game, Payton didn't waste a second. He knows the kind of impact a close loss can have on morale, so he's turning it into a lesson. Word is, he pulled up clips of all the tough losses he's faced over his career, telling the guys, you're not alone. We're going to come back from this. And Payton's got the track record to back it up. He's known for building teams that don't quit. He's got them believing that if they stay focused, if they push a little harder, they're not out of the playoff race. Not by a long shot. And the players, they're buying in. You can see it in how they're talking after the game. Focused, fired up, and ready to move forward. Payton's not just coaching a team, he's rallying a group of fighters. And Bo Nix, he is absolutely a gem. Facing the Chiefs, he wasn't rattled. Nix completed over 70% of his passes, tossed 2 touchdowns, and kept the Broncos in the game against one of the toughest defenses in the league. And it's not just fans noticing. Patrick Mahomes himself gave him a shout-out after the game, telling him, we're going to have a lot of battles ahead. That's respect, right there. But it's not just about stats, it's how he carries himself, how he's rallying the locker room. Teammates are talking about him like he's the real deal. They're not treating him like a rookie anymore. He's the guy they want to go to battle with. That blocked field goal may have cost them the win, but Nix's performance? It was one of those games that shows he's got future star written all over him. The Broncos aren't just talking about bouncing back, they're making moves to prove it. Right after that Chiefs game, they promoted fullback Michael Burton back to the active roster. This isn't just some random shakeup, it's a calculated decision. Burton's not only reliable on offense, but he's also a beast on special teams, and right now, Denver needs that kind of versatility and grit. Burton's the kind of player who's willing to grind it out, and Payton knows he's someone they can rely on when things get tight. Plus, there's talk that receiver Josh Reynolds might be coming off injured reserve soon, adding even more depth. So, the Broncos aren't just sticking to what's safe, they're making changes that could give them an edge. And that's not all. It sounds like this roster shakeup might even continue, with a few other moves potentially on the way. Safety Kedron Smith didn't make the cut this time around, and there's speculation that Greg Dulcich could be on his way out too. Payton's not leaving any stone unturned. He's building a roster that can go the distance, and if that means letting go of players who aren't contributing, he's not afraid to make those calls. It's clear, the Broncos aren't treating this season like it's over. Every move they're making is a step toward building a team that can hit the playoffs with serious momentum. Now, here's a name to keep an eye on: Audric Estime. Broncos' fans have been buzzing about him lately, and for good reason. There's talk that Estime could be the one to take over as the starting running back, and honestly, he's making a strong case. In a season where Denver's ground game has had its ups and downs, Estime's got that spark they've been looking for. He's not just putting up numbers, he's running with purpose. Every carry, every push forward, you can see the fight in this guy. Fans are already saying he brings a different energy, and Sean Payton seems to agree. Estime's been stepping up in high-pressure moments, proving that he's not just a backup, he's someone they could build the offense around. Javonte Williams has been solid, but Estime's explosive style could be what this offense needs to shake things up. And with the playoff race heating up, Denver can't afford to stick with the status quo. Estime could be the X factor that helps the Broncos control the clock, wear down defenses, and keep the pressure off Nix. Imagine a backfield where Estime's pounding the ball up the middle and Nix is stretching defenses through the air. That's the kind of combo that could really give them an edge. If Payton decides to elevate Estime, it's a clear message. This team in it to win, and they're willing to make bold moves to get there. The thing is, people around the league are starting to notice. You've got guys like Mahomes giving props to Bo Nix, and even Travis Kelce has been vocal about the Broncos' fight. That's respect coming from the best of the best. It's not just lip service either. When players from rival teams are openly acknowledging the Broncos' grit, you know Denver's doing something right. And it's not just the players. Analysts are starting to catch on too. This isn't the same old Broncos team that rolls over after a tough game. They're building a reputation as a team that, win or lose, brings everything they've got. So, while other teams might be dealing with morale issues and roster chaos, Denver's holding it together. And that stability is going to be crucial down the stretch. Alright, let's talk playoffs. With a 5-5 record, the Broncos are right on the edge. They're not out of it, but they're definitely in that must-win territory. And their next game against the Falcons? It's huge. This game could be the turning point they need to build momentum and make a serious playoff push. The Falcons aren't exactly a walk in the park. They've got a solid defense and a balanced offense. But if Denver brings the same fight they showed against the Chiefs, they've got a real shot. And here's where the recent changes come into play. Michael Burton's promotion adds depth to their lineup, Bo Nix is playing with serious confidence, and if Audric Estime continues to push in the run game, the Broncos could be looking at a very different offense than we saw earlier in the season. This matchup isn't just another game. It's an opportunity for Denver to prove they're a playoff-caliber team. Win this one and they're back over, but a loss? That could be a major setback in an already tight race. This upcoming stretch is going to be a test. The Falcons, the playoff race, every game from here on out is a chance for the Broncos to prove they've got what it takes. If they can keep building on this momentum, they're not just playing to finish the season strong, they're playing for a real shot at the postseason. Okay, so what do you think, Broncos fans? With all the moves Denver's making after that Chiefs loss, do you think they have a real shot at the playoffs? Or is it too little, too late? With players like Michael Burton promoted and talk around Audric Estime taking over as starting running back, do you think these changes will give the Broncos the edge they need for the playoffs?